Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. In this video, we'll be talking about the P-8 Poseidon, the United States Navy's aircraft. Please remember to like and subscribe. Now let's get right into it. Fact 1. Boeing 737. The P-8 Poseidon is really a derivative of the Boeing 737 that you see commonly flying across the sky. In fact, the P-8 Poseidon is really the military version of the Boeing 737. It has roughly the same exact dimensions and uses the same engines and very similar components. Obviously, the main difference is that the 737 is used to transport people, while the P-8 Poseidon is mainly used for surveillance on the high seas. But if you take a look, everything's very similar. In fact, the cockpit looks almost identical to the Boeing 737 cockpit that you see in the civilian version. And so the P-8 Poseidon is easy for Boeing to manufacture because it is really just an extension of their 737 manufacturing line. Because of all the similarities shared in the avionics, Boeing could easily make a 737 and convert it to a P-8 Poseidon without too much difficulty. This also makes the aircraft much easier to export worldwide, because the Boeing 737 has already been exported worldwide to many different countries. Now let's get into the next fact. February 2012. The P-8 Poseidon has been in the United States military service for roughly 11 years at the time of this video. It made its debut participating in a war games near the United Kingdom area. And from then on, the United States committed to procuring more and more of these aircrafts for the Navy's use to conduct maritime surveillance around the world. And it's probably very easy to train pilots to use this aircraft because, again, from our previous section, the similarities to the Boeing 737. Pilots for the P-8 Poseidon could probably use the same simulators and the same training program as the Boeing 737, which is very common worldwide. And so this reduces the amount of specialized training the pilots need to start operating these airplanes. And a bonus for the pilots is that once their military service is over, they could probably easily transition to fly 737s for major US or other country airlines and have very little knowledge transfer. Let's get into the next fact. Fact 3. Worldwide operators. As I mentioned in the previous section, the 737 is already exported and used worldwide, and the P-8 Poseidon is no different. In fact, if you take a look, many countries have signed up to use the P-8 Poseidon as their maritime surveillance aircraft. And I think the United States is much more comfortable in exporting this particular aircraft because the aircraft is really a derivative of the 737. When the United States military needs to export specialized aircraft, it probably goes through a lot of stringent processes to make sure classified or confidential information is not leaked through the export. But with the P-8 Poseidon, it's probably so much easier because, again, it shares almost the same stuff as the 737. The cockpit, the avionics are almost identical, and so it's easy for them to export and not worry about leaking sensitive military information. Great, let's get into the next fact. Fact 4. Has weapons. Even though the primary mission of the P-8 Poseidon is surveillance, this aircraft is actually well armed. And in fact, if you take a look, there's actually a bomb door that could lead to an internal bay that can open up and drop bombs or air-to-surface missiles. The wings can also hold air-to-air missiles to defend itself against enemy aircraft. And so even though this aircraft it is a derivative of a civilian 737, the major difference is that it has bomb bay doors and wings that could hold missiles. And so make no mistake, this is a full military aircraft with the ability to destroy things. It is unlikely though for the P-8 Poseidon to go out on a mission by itself and attack targets. It is more likely to be complemented by fighter aircrafts or other attack aircrafts, and the primary role again is to surveillance and provide situational awareness to other aircraft and other ships in the Navy. The majority of the airplane is still dedicated to surveillance equipment and other electronics to provide information rather than to attack ships, land targets, or other air targets. Alright, let's get into the next and final fact. Franco-American engine. As I mentioned in the previous section, the P-8 Poseidon is very similar to the 737, and in fact it uses the same engine that the 737 uses. And this engine isn't fully American. It is actually a joint venture between American GE Aviation and a French aircraft engine company. And so I think it's very interesting that the P-8 Poseidon is actually a US military aircraft with foreign components. This is something you don't see often because the United States military prefers to use technology that's homegrown and complete within their own control. But again, because the P-8 Poseidon is a derivative of the 737, it ends up using an aircraft engine that is developed by a French and American joint venture. But they don't need to worry so much because France is not an enemy of the United States. And so they probably don't need to worry about France trying to sabotage the development of this aircraft. Because if they do, they also sabotage Boeing 737 developments, and that could lead to other unintended consequences, not just in the military capacity. By using commercial off-the-shelf components and technology, it probably costs the Navy a lot less to maintain these aircrafts, because to keep them flying, they could probably just piggyback off of Boeing 737 maintenance programs and parts. Great, that's it for my video today. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. See you next time.